I'm Gita Dev with the Sierra Club Loma Prieta chapter in the San Francisco Peninsula. The Bay Area is a growing hub for the life sciences industry. With a talent pool from 3 universities and Silicon Valley's culture of innovation, there's been an influx of companies and venture capital. However, this has caused a shortage of lab space and a need for new areas, including near residential neighborhoods and along the Bay Edge. Life sciences, by their very nature, are about manipulating living organisms and infectious agents, and this brings with it some level of risk for public health and the environment, making it important for cities to manage these risks. This webinar, is about understanding the life sciences industry and managing risk. We wanted to understand how cities are dealing with the risks related to research labs. And what we found was that they were, in fact, looking for knowledge, for tools, ordinances, and regulations from other cities. So we had always heard, and you will always hear, that the biotech industry is highly regulated. However, we've also found that there are gaps in biosafety regulations, and there's a growing national concern related to public safety. There are also concerns about proximity to residential neighborhoods. So our research team consulted with industry professionals, public health and safety departments, and city officials, and we did extensive research on cities in the Cambridge, Boston area, a historic hub for biotech. Now, you may wonder why the Sierra Club is hosting this webinar. I'd like to briefly go through some of the environmental and community concerns. The Bay ecology has many biotech developments along the Bay Edge, and accidents and disasters along the edge of the Bay and into creeks can affect ecologically sensitive wetlands and local watersheds. And flooding can create biopollutants that enter into the bay because they are joint-sensitive wetlands. Liquefaction due to earthquakes is also a concern because it can rupture utilities. Groundwater rising is another issue, which causes flooding and mobilizes underground contaminants that come up to the surface. And in underground parking structures and basements that are along creeks and the bay, they cause groundwater displacement, increasing floodwaters on surrounding properties. I also want to point out that for sustainability, labs are high resource consumers. For electricity, they can use up to 10 times the normal office usage. And for water, they also use a very large amount of water. In a real life example, in San Mateo County, we have storage of 11 million gallons as a reserve. And in the recent EIR, the San Carlos Quarry Road Lab pointed out their capacity to use was 27 million gallons every year. Sewer capacity is also an issue because the water usage puts additional load on the wastewater system. And we've had a lot of overflows of the wastewater systems into the bay with pollutants in the bay. Another important issue is waste generation. Labs create a lot of waste. They are particularly addicted to plastics. There's a lot of single-use plastics, and that can be a concern for sustainability. The electricity backup generators, labs, they must have continuous power. They have backup power. And the traditional power backups are gas, like Bloom energy boxes, or diesel generators, both of which create greenhouse gases, which are not included in our greenhouse gas reduction goals. So these need to be included, and electric backup mandate needs to be mandatory. I just wanted to mention some of these items, and I would now like to turn it over to Steve Goodale, who is our MC and an educator. And take it away, Steve.
Thank you for the intro, Gita. Well, as stated, my name is Stephen Goodell, although my students call me Goody. We, the Biosafety Working Group, have done a tremendous amount of work and research into life sciences. And we've talked from everyone from fire chief to industry reps to neighborhood groups and basically everybody in between. Since the life sciences industry is new for most of the cities around the Bay, we created a brief video with hopefully just enough information to arm its viewers with a foundation of knowledge about this large and complicated field. And now, please, afterwards, the expert panelists are up, and we'll be starting with Dennis Carlone.
Life sciences is a large and complicated field. This presentation is intended as a brief and broad overview. Life sciences are a range of disciplines that work with and study living organisms. There are many subsets, but a few are biotech, bioscience, biosystems, immunotherapy, and so on. Vivariums are where living test subjects are kept. They may house subjects like rats, monkeys, plants, insects, and fungi. Agents are the materials applied to living test subjects in life sciences labs. Categories include bacterial, fungal, parasitic, rickettsial, and viral. Some examples are anthrax, botulism, candida, blood fluke, Rocky Mountain spotted fever, and Ebola. The Federal Select Agent Program oversees the possession, use, and transfer of select agents and toxins. Select agents are select agents because they have the potential for use in biological warfare. For select agents only, the FSAP provides regulation, inspections, and security risk assessments. Of note is that most agents, up to and including most Risk Group 3 agents, are not in the Select Agent Program. Use is the manner of the work performed. The riskier the procedures performed are to humans, the higher the use rating. For example, working with rabies in a cell culture has a use rating, but working with the same rabies, but in a lab animal, would have a higher use rating. The combined agent risk group and the use determine the overall risk and the subsequent biosafety level required of a lab. BSL-1, BSL-2, BSL-3, and BSL-4. Each biosafety level has its own specific containment controls for laboratory practices, equipment, and facility construction such as HVAC, air exhaust, waste, cold storage, utilities, and so on. Thanks again for your time and willingness to learn more about this complicated and important field.